I still remember the exact words that shattered me. "Daughter, you're worthless, uneducated. You'll never amount to anything." My father said it with such cold certainty, like he was stating a simple fact. I was 22, standing in our old living room. The one with the faded curtains, and the clock that always ticked too loudly. Tears burned in my eyes, but I refused to let them fall in front of him. Growing up, I was never the child he wanted. He was a respected engineer who believed success only came with degrees, titles, and a clear path. I was the dreamer, while my siblings followed his footsteps into medicine and engineering. I quietly fell in love with stories. I wrote in secret, late at night under my blanket with a flashlight. I poured my heart into notebooks he would never see. When I told him I didn't want to go to medical school, that I wanted to pursue writing and build something on my own, he laughed. That laugh still echoes in my chest. "Writing? Who do you think you are? You have no talent, no education for that world. You're just wasting your life." Those words broke something deep inside me. For months after that fight, I barely spoke. I smiled for my mother, helped around the house, and pretended everything was fine. But inside, I was drowning. Every night I questioned myself. Maybe he's right. Maybe I am worthless. But something inside me refused to stay broken. In the quiet hours when everyone slept, I started writing my first novel. It wasn't easy. I worked 2 part-time jobs during the day, came home exhausted, and still forced myself to write. Rejections piled up like heavy stones on my chest. Friends drifted away. Some even whispered that my father was right. Yet I kept going. I poured every piece of pain, every tear, every moment of doubt into those pages. I taught myself everything: story structure, marketing, editing late into the night with headphones on, so no one would hear me typing. I didn't tell a single soul what I was doing. Not my mother. Not my siblings. And definitely not my father. Because deep down, a small fire had started burning inside me. A quiet promise to myself. One day, he will see. Little did I know that day was coming sooner than I ever imagined. The years that followed were the hardest of my life. My father's words became a constant shadow. Every time I opened my laptop, I heard his voice. Every time I received another rejection email, it felt like he was standing behind me, shaking his head. The betrayal wasn't just in his words, it was in the way he looked at me, like I was a disappointment he had to endure. Family dinners became torture. He would praise my siblings' achievements, while completely ignoring me. Or worse, making subtle jabs about people who waste time on fantasies. My heart ached every single day. I loved my father. Despite everything, I still wanted his approval. But the more I tried to earn it, the more invisible I became. There were nights I cried so hard I couldn't breathe. Nights I almost gave up. I remember one particularly dark evening. Sitting on the floor of my tiny rented room, surrounded by crumpled pages, thinking maybe he was right. Maybe I should just quit and do what he wanted. But then I looked at the one thing that kept me going. The manuscript. I had been working on for 3 long years. It was my heart on paper, my pain, my dreams, my truth. So instead of quitting, I decided to fight in silence. I saved every rupee I could. I worked extra shifts. I learned everything I could about self-publishing. And one quiet morning, I finally pressed publish on my first novel. The response was slow at first. But then, something magical happened. Readers started connecting with my story. They left reviews saying my words healed them. My little book began climbing the charts in its category. Within months, it caught the attention of a major publisher. They offered me a contract, a real one, with an advance that made my hands shake when I saw the number. I was no longer the worthless girl. But I still kept it secret. I wanted the right moment. I needed him to feel what I had felt. Meanwhile, my father continued his life as usual. He bragged about my siblings. He asked me, with that same condescending tone, when I was going to finally do something serious with my life. Each time he said it, the pain cut deeper. But now it mixed with something else, quiet strength. I was building something beautiful in the shadows. And every day, I grew stronger. Until the day everything changed. Please like my video, and subscribe my channel. It happened at my younger sister's engagement party. The whole family was there, relatives, friends, neighbors. My father was in his element, proudly introducing my siblings and their achievements. Then someone asked about me. Before I could speak, my father sighed loudly and said, "Oh, she's still figuring things out. You know how some children never listen?" The room went quiet. The humiliation burned across my face. But this time, I didn't shrink. I stood up slowly, my heart pounding. Actually, I said, my voice calm but clear, I have something to share. I took out my phone and opened the bestseller list. There, at number 3 in the country, was my book, my name, my success. I turned the screen toward him. The color drained from my father's face. I spoke softly but firmly, letting every word land. This is my first novel, Dad. It's been read by thousands of people. A major publisher just signed me for 3 more books. The advance alone is more than I ever dreamed. I did this without your approval, without your path, and without your belief in me. You could hear a pin drop. Tears welled up in his eyes, something I had rarely seen. For the first time in my life, my father looked small. He tried to speak, but couldn't find the words. In that moment, I didn't feel triumphant revenge. I felt peace. Later that evening, he found me alone. His voice cracked as he said, I was wrong. I didn't see you. I'm sorry. I hugged him. Not because he deserved it, but because I deserved peace. Today, our relationship is healing, slowly. He reads my books now. He tells people about his daughter, the author. But more importantly, I've learned the greatest lesson of my life. No one else gets to decide your worth. Not your parents. Not your failures. Not the voices that try to shrink you. Your value is not measured by their approval. It is measured by the fire you carry inside when the world tells you to give up. If you're watching this and someone has made you feel worthless, hear me. Keep going. Your truth, your talent, your quiet strength. One day it will speak louder than their words ever could. And when that day comes,